Good morning, guys. It is Monday, March the 20th, and I just want to take a quick second and tell you guys how excited I am about tomorrow night's meeting. I always look forward to seeing you guys and sharing with you guys. That meeting helps me tremendously, and so I really am excited about tomorrow night's meeting. And speaking of meetings, I want to talk today about that, actually, and the importance of staying connected to meetings and why it's important. Let me take it back to July 2021, whenever I came back into the rooms of AA for the last time. I came into those rooms seriously, with a serious intent of trying. I was hopeless. I had zero hope that there was nothing on this planet, nothing in this world that was going to get me to the point where I could stop drinking. And probably, I guess, March, April, by the point of March of April of 21, I had already reached the pinnacle of effort. I had tried everything to stop drinking. I switched my brands, switched the times of when I drank, switched where I would allow myself to drink. I tried everything, and over that time period, I slowly came to the conclusion that I can't stop. I just could not stop drinking. This was the way I was going to die. Being a drunk, alcoholic with no hope. And so by, I'd say, March, April for sure, I'd already resigned myself to that fate. It was now just a matter of time that the alcoholism was going to kill me. And so I'd given up. I'd given up. I tried everything. In my conscious mind, what little bit of time I was conscious and sober, I had tried everything to stop drinking, to prevent myself from having to deal with those cravings and having to deal with the anxiety of withdrawal and all that stuff. So I was done. It was just a matter of time, and I was okay with it. So fast forward a month or two, and coming into the rooms the serious time, in July of 21, I came in and I had no hope. I had no expectations whatsoever. None. Zero expectations. Matter of fact, the only reason why I was even coming into the rooms in July of 21 was because I knew sooner or later I was going to meet God, and I was going to have to present my case to God as to why He should allow me into heaven. As to why I was such a good and an industrial student of His, and I needed to prepare my case to argue before God as to why He should let me into heaven. And I knew the first question God was going to ask me was, did you try everything? And I was going to say, well, yeah, I tried everything. And He's going to say, did you try AA? Well, yeah. And He's going to know that I really didn't try AA. So in a couple months of May and June of 2021, I was coming to that realization: I'm going to need to prepare my case so I can go and argue before God. And that's why I came into the rooms of AA, because I'd already tried everything. Nothing worked. So I might as well go and try this AA thing and give it a good old-fashioned college try, was my thought. I came into the rooms. I had no hope, no expectations. I wasn't going to get sober. There's no way in hell that was going to happen. So might as well go ahead and just sit here and listen. Well, as I sat there and listened in these meetings, July the 5th was my last drink. July the 6th was my first day of sobriety. I struggled, man. It was so difficult to struggle. The anxiety, the shakes, the tremors, the cold sweats, everything. The high blood pressure. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears on July the 6th. And I was like, yep, well, if I don't die being a drunk, I'm going to die coming off of alcohol. So again, I got to at least say I'm trying. And so early on, those few meetings that I came into, I'm listening to these guys, some of these folks, and they've been sober quite a while. We're talking 5, 10, some 30, 40 years. And they seem sort of excited about their future. They seem sort of excited about their life. And I'm sitting there going, I'm over here going through all this mental anguish of withdrawal and coming off the booze, trying to clear my thoughts. And I'm listening to these people talk about how excited they are to live. Shit, I wasn't excited to live at that moment, because just the physiological withdrawals from alcohol I was going, how the hell can you possibly say this? My life's in shambles at the time, so I thought, and they're talking about how their life was in shambles, but now they're excited about what? And so, especially towards the end of July 2021, that's when I got hooked up with, some folks, my sponsor, his sponsor, and several other folks. Those guys really started sharing experience, strength, and hope. And by that point, my brain was kind of starting to clear now, right? So I was actually able to kind of understand what they were talking about, sort of. But it gave me hope. Listening to their stories gave me hope. Listening to other people talk about their problems and how they may still be going through their problems, but sometimes they had already come through their problems and they had come through it successfully. That gave me hopes, gave me something I didn't have when I first came into the rooms. So when I come into the rooms, I have nothing, no expectations, no hope, no nothing. And just, 30 days in, I'm hearing stories of all these people who, a lot of them were worse off than what I was. But man, they've turned it around. They've got excited. They've become passionate about their recovery. And I'm going, how the hell does that happen? In my mind, I'm thinking, how the hell does this happen? And so I realized at that moment that the meetings, the people I surrounded myself with, those people were the ones who were sharing their experience, strength, and hope. I was starting to pick it up. I was starting to gain their hope. I was starting to gain their excitement for life, their zeal, their enthusiasm for going on and continue living. They never, let me be very clear, they never told me my life was going to get perfect. No, matter of fact, one guy in particular, he told me my life was probably going to get worse at first. And I was okay with that because, again, I had already given up. I was already at my lowest point mentally anyway. I was already at my lowest point. But even though these guys had talked about when they were at their lowest point, they still had hope. And so that hope, they started giving me that hope, listening to their stories. And that's why it was important that I stayed in meetings. That's why it was important that I tried to make every single meeting. We're talking at least one a day. And you're for weeks. That whole time period for me just seems like it was such a blur, because in a good way, because it was just night after night, meeting after meeting. Me and my friends were in, and so I finally, after about 2 months maybe, I finally decided to get my sponsor and to really start pouring myself in and working the steps. And guess what? Just getting that little bit of hope from these rooms that I was going into, that's what started off my road to recovery, started pushing me down the road, because it gave me something to go after. Instead of just standing on this road looking down the path going, okay, yeah. In far distance, I started to see hope in the far distance. And that gave me a reason to start moving forward. And that's exactly what I wanted. And that's why it's important that we stay connected, because we can get sober, we can recover, but we can also stop moving forward because, we don't really see anything on down the road. And we figure in our minds, we've already recovered. We've already gone 6 months or a year in recovery, so we could slow down on this road. No, because the longer I stay in the rooms, the longer I stay connected, the more I can see down at the end of the road. And I want that. I want that excitement. I want that passion, that enthusiasm for living. And that's what keeps me moving forward, because I have a reason. I don't have to just slow down and I don't really see anything, but I'm recovered, so I'm good. Yeah, that's when I start getting myself into trouble, because I start thinking, right? So I encourage you guys to stay connected. No matter how far in recovery you're in, stay connected. Keep yourself surrounded by like-minded people. And it's easy to do by just walking into a room like that. So anyway, I just want to leave you guys with that thought. So I love you guys again. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night. And remember, guys, if you need anything, just reach out. You can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.